The fitness industry has turned into one of the weirdest amalgamations of odd, slightly inappropriate, fringe content that I've ever seen. Whether it's steroid promotion, honestly, like sex workers, LARPing as fitness influencers, to some of the most downright, almost near PDF file type content. This page I just found is one of the most interesting dilemmas that I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't post this type of content, but let's just get right into the meat of this video and show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Damn, you're so hot.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done.
This is my security. This is my security.
Now, I'm going to make this a little bit weirder. You could obviously tell that the guy in the video is very young and the girl is far older. And the reason that this is weird is apparent because there is a very large age discrepancy and one is a minor and one is much older. But beyond the sexual suggestions in the video, there's a lot more going on here, which is the fact that this is a brother and sister making content together, being sponsored by Cal AI, which is a macro tracking app, which has already been talked about numerous times as being wildly inaccurate and very inefficient in terms of tracking macros. Their content is basically this is exactly what every single post that they make is, and you have to be honest with yourself and say that, I mean, this is just weird. This is just weird content to be making. I mean, it's like we're setting up for some sort of weird intro to a video that is not of well, I wouldn't fit on the TOS of YouTube, but maybe some other web services. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, like, maybe if you take care of my pipes, I can take care of your pipe.
Ma'am, I do my own plumbing.
And while that video maybe was not the most suggestive, let me just show you some more content which I find baffling. So once again, trying to make a really suggestive move towards his own sister to then later promote an app called Cal AI. It's a weird series of videos that I just think is like, who thought of this? And then who as well thought, I'm gonna, have this 13-year-old boy be the center of this content, because it's in no way, shape, or form him directing this content. I assure you, I wasn't this creative when I was a 13-year-old. I don't know about you, but that certainly wasn't me. And being a minor, it's pretty much hard or impossible to make money off of these kind of applications at this age. Yet he's being sponsored. He's obviously being paid by some of these companies. Who's orchestrating this?
To fight, to die on, and this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name. Oh, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a
And I don't understand with this kind of stuff, you know, like who thought this was a good idea? Hey, let's put our 13-year-old son in front of the camera. We'll record him. We'll get companies to sponsor him. And then we'll use our daughter as bait for the video and make it like this weird sexual innuendo and parasocial relationship that's developing on TikTok for money. For money. We're going to do this for money with our children. And I think what's just uber weird about all this is like, man, kids cannot escape the influence of social media now. There's no way that they can just grow up without the infectious disease that is social media content, pushing the way that they live their lives and suggesting the lifestyles that they should live. And the comment sections in these videos are absolutely in no way, shape, or form ignoring the fact that this is wild. Like, this is some weird stuff going on. Tons of comments saying, what am I watching? What is this? You know, his girl is his sister. These videos feel very odd to watch. Like, what if the roles were reversed? Is often a comment that you see where it's like, yeah, it's fine to make, you know, a little boy the subject of the video and use a sister sort of looking at him in a predatorial fashion. That's fine. But if the roles were reversed, would everyone be looking at this and engaging with this type of content appropriately? Probably not. Call it what it is. This kid's got a great physique. I mean, he's a very young kid, but he's got a great, well-developed physique, better than most anybody would at this age. Greg Doucette made a video talking about how this is better than he had ever looked, and he became an IFBB pro. I'd venture to say that this is better than I could have ever fathomed looking at this age. And I did not become an IFBB pro, but still, kid's got a great physique, and he's obviously marketing it. But it's just a weird dilemma that they're framing it in this way where it's seductive in some fashion. And I also want to know who the cameraman is here that seems to be recording this. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. These are good angles. It's good videography for specifically cinematography, whatever that actual term would be called. Don't roast me about that. But it's good for the content being made. I mean, this is like TikTok style viral video recording. Like, it's well rehearsed. You can tell that this is, you know, something that they planned, and the angles and the approach that the cameraman has is very, very consistent and, again, scripted. Okay, it just adds layers of weirdness to this. And there was a similar situation to this way back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was a very odd situation. There's a kid named Richard Sandrak. He was known as Little Hercules, and he was sort of this same thing. He was a really muscular kid. At the age of 6, he could bench press 180 pounds, which is extremely impressive. But it was found out after he had gone all over TV talking about his physical feats and everything like that. It was found out that his parents were actually really abusive. They wouldn't let him eat nearly anything, candy, nothing of the sorts. He basically had an extremely strict diet that they made for him and made him eat, as well as an extremely strict workout regimen that, again, they made for him and made him commit to. But worse than that, the parents started to notice that there was a lot of viral activity, and they were making some money going through the rounds of different TV channels and news broadcasts. And so it's alleged that they started to feed him steroids at the very young age of 6+. I mean, very, very young age of 6+. Actually, his father went to jail for child abuse because of all of this. And now at the age of 32, he came out and talked about what had happened to him as a child, but also how that really kind of demented his life early on and led him to, honestly, a bad lifestyle. His childhood was filled with abuse and neglect, and ultimately led him to, you know, a not so desirable outcome, right? Where basically he fell into addiction, struggled with emotional trauma that he was trying to, you know, overlap with this addictive tendency toward drugs, stopped working out entirely, never even went to the gym, just became this person that was so different from who he was as a child. He had a lifelong healing process that he had to go through because his parents were making him do things like train 8 hours a day with an extreme cardio regimen, an extreme weight training regimen, and a diet, right? Imagine having your whole life controlled by these parents that are supposed to be nurturing and providing you with, you know, good values that you should carry with you through adulthood. But instead you have this sort of childhood stolen, and you're forced to basically become this physique model at a young age, and cameras are pointed on you 24/7. I mean, it's a weird weird dynamic for a kid to grow up in. This is exactly what happened here. And so while these videos might seem innocent and playful and I don't know, maybe even funny, it seems super weird and again, scripted and planned out. But also you have the dynamic where this is a brother and sister duo. You have the dynamic where this kid's 13 years old. You have this dynamic that is just, it's very odd, right? Like I said, who's the cameraman? Who's recording all of this? It's kind of messed up, all right? It's kind of messed up if you really think about it, because the bro hasn't even hit developmental age yet, and he's being put into these provocative scenes with his own sister, recorded constantly over and over and over again. I mean, they're putting out content a ton. It's very concerning as somebody who would be, interested in one day having kids, to think about a young man being put into this environment with his own sister, making this kind of content, pushing sponsorships with Gymshark. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucked. And it's content like this that just makes me kind of come back to the fact that fitness is supposed to be about, especially the influencing scene, is supposed to be about empowering people, giving them a space to improve. It is like your entry point into self-improvement. And when your entry point looks like this, things get a bit skewed. You don't, what is improvement? Like, what are we defining that as at this point? A jacked 14-year-old messing around with his sister seductively on camera? I don't know if that's it. I don't know. This is a relatively quick video. It boggles my mind. I don't know the correct terminology there, but I don't think this is appropriate. I definitely think the parents are morally questionable, ethically questionable. I don't think any of this should be done with a kid this young. I don't think you should be engaging a brother and sister in this kind of activity at all. Bro's got a great physique. Hope it's natural, right? Hope it's natural. Hope he's not blasting steroids to get this outcome. Even a little bit would be detrimental at this sort of developmental age. It's a real sad thing to see. But if you like this content, I'd appreciate if you gave me a subscribe. You click that little button. It helps out more than you'd ever know. I hope you guys have a beautiful week, beautiful day, and just keep stepping, brother. Ignore all this bullshit. You keep moving towards whatever destination that you have designed for you, the outcome that you want. All right, you just keep moving, the doors will open. Right, it's like a JC Penney's door. It slides open when you walk up next to it, right? But it only does that with the fact of you walking towards it with good faith that it will open. Eventually, you keep walking, your doors will open, brother.
So keep walking, even when the pressure's crushing. Keep going when the world says you're nothing. Pain builds the strongest hearts. You're forced to play this part. There's power in the suffering.